It's very easy to make new trees, and between November and March is the only time really when you can take a hardwood cutting and it will definitely grow. So this is an elder tree. It's quite different to the blackcurrants and gooseberry bushes, but it still will live from just taking a cutting. So the key thing is to go near a bud and cut directly above that, ideally with sharp secateurs, and then you cut a diagonal down, sloping away from the bush so that water doesn't run in. In this case we're going to leave that one there with the upward growing bud, and wherever there is a bud the new growth will go in that direction. So in this case there's a path. I don't want it to grow over here, I want it to grow up that way, so I'm going to leave it at that bud. On this cutting however there isn't a bud, and I'm just going to cut that and call that one finished, so it no longer grows out. So when you've got your cuttings, they are well, they're spiky. So ideally you're looking to get it about that long, 30 centimetres, and again you just cut it very carefully not to damage the bud, above the bud, and any thinner than that it's no use. So we'll put that one back into the nature, and there, those two are cuttings ready to go. So here's another one. So we've got the branch here. Let's see, that's too thin after there, so cut that off. Yeah, we take it there, and then that one's a good long strong cutting. The only difference from making a normal pencil-like cutting, say like here where you've got branching, you can satisfactorily get that in the ground, that will turn into the root, and you can have a nice forked top, but it will actually grow out of both of those. So normally you would think of a cutting like this, but also if you reach a fork in the plant then you can also do it like this, and then you take them over to the bed and we plant them. The only other thing to say about elder, which is different from everything else, is it comes into leaf by around January. So every year I'm just a bit too late and take the cuttings in January when the new leaves are forming, and that means the power's going into the leaves. So if you could take them nearer the November end of the season, it's much better, because then all the energy of the plant will go into rooting and it won't be splitting its energy into leafing. So beginning of November, end of October, ideal. Take your elder tree cuttings. Okay, I've got a bunch of my elder stick cuttings, and this year I've actually got a clear nursery bed for them. So you can plant this directly, most of the cuttings directly into grass, as long as you make sure you put cardboard or grass cuttings or something else around it. But if you've got clear soil or a plant pot of clear soil, then you just stick them in. So let's take a nice clear one. Here it is, and literally lonk, probably about halfway. And with elder, they grow on a single stem, and I would actually find I get success through, I need to throw a stick for the dog because she's here. Here you go, Faith. Right. When they're cuttings like this, you can put them really close together. Anyway, that's what I'm trying to say, because stone, because they're quite happy growing like this till the spring, and even actually for a year or two, just like in a tree nursery, and you can divide them really easily in the spring when they come into leaf, or even next year. So the only tip about this is if they're using two hands, because the stems can break quite easily, and you be very careful not to damage the buds. Now in my garden I've got so much stones underground that you quite often hit a stone, but normally if you push it carefully and firmly with two hands, then they go in. There we go.